Erev Tov B'Tay. Let's continue our discussion with the holiday. Still more things to learn. One thing is that we say Hallel on the Pesach holiday every day. But it's not the same thing every day. Why? Because the first day, Yom Tov, and also second day, because we're outside of Israel, we say Hallel, the full Hallel, with the bracha and everything. The full one. Right? But then on Chol HaMoed, we don't say the full Hallel. We don't. We don't say the full Hallel. So what do? We say the short one. No blessing, no bracha. Right? And we skip also 2 paragraphs. So what's the reason why? On Sukkot, by the way, it's not like that. And also on Hanukkah, if you remember, that we say every day the full Hallel. So then why on Pesach we don't say the full Hallel every day? Only Chatzi Hallel, right? Half one. So what's the reason for this? It says in the Zohar Kadosh something interesting about that. It says that the reason why we don't say the full Hallel every day is because when they had the Geulah in Mitzrayim, which was the night of Passover, 15th, Tetvav, so it wasn't really it says in the Zohar Kadosh, it wasn't really a full Geulah at that time, even though there was Geulah. So what does that mean, Geulah? We were allowed to leave Mitzrayim, to go away. But still wasn't finished the Geulah. Something was missing there. And this is the reason why we don't say the Hallel, the full Hallel every day on Passover. So what was missing in the Geulah? What was lacking there? So it says Zohar Kadosh, you know what's lacking, right? Matan Torah. We didn't receive the Torah yet. So, just to go and leave Mitzrayim is very good. But without Torah, what does it really help you? It doesn't really help much. You don't have the Torah. You don't really have a good life like that. This is the reason, So until they received the Torah on Har Sinai, the Geulah was not really finished yet. Shavuot. You understand? Right, Shavuot, yeah. That's why the Rambam says, by the way, that he says something interesting. He says that really, Pesach until Shavuot, it's like one big holiday. That's what he says. You ever hear about this before? That's what he says. So what does that mean? That really, Pesach is the beginning, which is the Geulah from Mitzrayim, but the end is to receive the Torah. It's one package. You can't have one without the other. It's not really good enough like that, without the other. So therefore, it says the Rambam, all the days that are between Pesach and Shavuot, it's one big Chol HaMoed. That's what it says, Chol HaMoed. So this is what the Rambam tells you. So it's all one big thing, because one without the other doesn't really do the job. This is the reason why. And this is the reason why we don't say the Hallel, the full Hallel, until we receive the Torah. And then on Shavuot, when we receive the Torah, then we say the full Hallel, right? Because now the Geulah is completed. Without the Torah, it's not worth anything. This is exactly what we say in the Haggadah, right? When we sing the song Dayenu, right? Dayenu, this, right? So what do we say over there? We say, if he would have given us, right, Eretz Israel, So one thing that it doesn't say like this. If you look at that song, right, Dayenu, it doesn't say one thing. You know what it doesn't say? It doesn't say if he would give us Eretz Israel, but not giving us the Torah, Dayenu would have been enough. It doesn't say that. You know why? So says Maran Rabbi Shalom, that it would not be enough. Just to have Eretz Israel without Torah, it's not enough. It's not really the whole package. Eretz Israel is no good without Torah, right? In fact, Eretz Israel without Torah, it's very bad. How do I know this? How do we know this? Because it says, right, the Meraglim, what did they say to Moshe Rabbeinu when they came back from spying the land? They said, Eretz ochelet et yosheveha. That's what they said about Eretz Israel. You know what that means? It's the land that eats up, the inhabitants. It eats them up. It eats the people there. It eats them alive. This land, dangerous land. Sakana. They spoke lashon hara about Eretz Israel like this. That's what they said. The truth is, it was also true what they said. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It's true. That when you go to Eretz Israel, right, and you don't keep the Torah, that land is going to eat you up. You should know it's going to eat you. So don't think, you're going, this is my homeland, right? I'm chofshi, right? We're free people. What am chofshi? What homeland? You think you can do whatever you want over there? You're a free person? You're chofshi? Not chofshi. You have to be serving the Torah. You have to be serving Hashem. Where do we see this, by the way? We see this also in the Navi, right? What does it say? That after the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, so what happened was, right, that Sancheriv, it was before actually the Beit HaMikdash. Sancheriv, when he took the 10 tribes to Galut, he brought there, these goyim, to live there in that land, Shomron. He brought goyim over there, right? Where were they from, these people? From the island called Kuta. Kutim. They were Kutim, right? There's a Kutim. So the Kutim, they came over there, and Sancheriv put them there instead of the Jewish people, instead of the 10 tribes, to live over there. So you know what happened? Wild animals start to come, and eat them, these Kutim, They were eating them alive. Wild animals coming. In Eretz Israel, That's why, Eretz Israel sometimes, can eat you up. So why were they eating them up? These wild animals, you know why? Because they were doing Avodah Zarah over there. So when you do Avodah Zarah in Eretz Israel, Hashem is going to punish you over there. Oh, Vei'Avo. You're going to get it on your head. That's a very big sin. Why? Because when you do Avodah Zarah outside, in Chutz La'aretz, it's okay, because all the goyim are doing Avodah Zarah. So you're just the same as anybody else. But when you go to Eretz Israel, you're going to the palace of the king, right? Paltrin Shel HaMelech. And in front of the king, he's watching you. This is his house, his palace. And over there, in front of him, under his nose, you're trying to do Avodah Zarah. Oy, Hashem is going to punish you for this. You understand? So what happened was that these people who converted over there from Kuta, they were being attacked by the animals, So they went, to the authorities over there, They sent to Sancheriv, a message. They sent him, he says, what's going on? These people you sent over there, to Shomron, they're being eaten alive, over there. The animals are eating them. So, you know what he did, right? He sent to one of the Yoshvei Shomron, right? One of the Jews, who used to live over there. He knew the laws of the land, he knew the laws of the Torah. So he told them, you know what? Go over there to Eretz Israel and teach these people how to keep the Torah, how to keep the laws of the Torah, so that the animals shouldn't come and eat them. So what happened was that this guy went over there, this Jewish guy, and he taught them, how to keep the laws of the Torah. They were not Jews, they were goyim. But anyway, right? He taught them how to keep the laws, not to do Avodah Zarah. Because this is very dangerous. You do Avodah Zarah in Eretz Israel. So he taught them how to do it, and then they stopped. They stopped attacking them, the animals. Then they were safe. This is what happened. So you see from there that Eretz Israel without Torah, it's not good. It's going to eat you alive. Don't go over there without Torah. First learn a little Torah and then go. If you don't know nothing, it's going to be, right? You're going to go over there. They're going to make you into they're going to send you to the army, with a rifle. They're going to send you like this. And it's going to be right because you don't keep the Torah, you're in danger. Now some, terrorists, lo aleinu, can come and kill you over there. Because you don't keep the Torah. You don't even say Kiyat Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You don't even say that, right? So that's not good, right? That's the thing. So you got to be careful when you go to Eretz Israel. You got to keep the laws over there. It's even more than here. You should know, by the way, that when people sometimes, Hashem sends them to Galut. Like we are in Galut. So, why he sends them to Galut? Because in Eretz Israel, they're not keeping the Torah over there, so the land over there cannot hold them. It vomits them out, it throws them out, the land, because they're not keeping the Torah. It ejects them. Gets rid of them. This is what happens, So, why is that? Because when you go to Chutz La'aretz, at least over there, when you're not keeping the Torah, it's not so bad. But if you're not keeping the Torah in Eretz Israel, over there, the punishment is even worse, It's even stronger. So you gotta be careful with that, You gotta... Baruch Hashem, Yishtabach Shemo. Now, I hear, 2 years ago, right, we had this, year and a half ago, right, this war that started and all this thing. After that, they say that a lot of people did teshuvah, because of this war. A lot of people were chozer b'teshuvah in Eretz Israel. Even people who are very against the Torah, smolanim, secular people, very, very, very left-wingers. They did teshuvah. They say also, some of the hostages that were there, in Hamas over there, Hamastan, right? They did teshuvah also there. They did teshuvah. They came back and they started to keep Shabbat. and let's keep kashrut. This is what happened, So that's what you see from there. So that's the whole thing, Without the Torah, it's not complete. The Geulah is not complete. That's what we learn from all this. You have to have the Torah. That's why we don't say the full Hallel. Tell you one more thing and we'll stop. Besides the Hallel, as we said, right, there's also another tefillah that we do, which is Yaleh Vei'Avo, right, on the holiday. We say this in the Birkat Hamazon. We say this in the Amidah.
The whole 8 days?
Yeah, that's it, right? Every time you do Birkat Hamazon, every time you do Amidah, you gotta say Yaleh Vei'Avo. Right? Except for Yom Tov. Yom Tov, we also say it there, but it's a different format, over there. It's a little bit different. We say in the middle bracha. But you gotta say Yaleh Vei'Avo. If a person didn't say Yaleh Vei'Avo on the Amidah, what's the rule? He has to go back and pray again, So this is like critical, on the holiday. If you don't say it, you gotta pray again. I remember one time that, we were praying. It was something, I don't know what it was, Rosh Chodesh or Chol HaMoed. And the Chazan, at the house of Maran, at the synagogue of Maran, was my friend, David Danielov, his name is. So he was a Chazan, and what happened was he was saying Amidah, and Maran was in the front over there. And what happened, right? When he was saying Amidah, he didn't say, like we say, right? Yaleh Vei'Avo. To remind everybody to say Yaleh Vei'Avo. That's why we do that. It's an important thing, by the way, to do that. Somebody should do it. One or two people at least, the Chazan, the Rabbi, at least that much, 2 people, right? Whatever. At least that much. Not everybody has to say, out loud. What happened was the Chazan, he forgot to say, Yaleh Vei'Avo like this, So Maran, he forgot to say also Yaleh Vei'Avo. Because they didn't hear him. You understand? So in the end, he came right to the Chazan, Maran, I heard him. And he says, what happened? Why didn't you say Yaleh Vei'Avo? He told him. He said, now I forgot to say. So you see, he also forgot. So what did he do? He went into the room and he prayed again Amidah because he forgot to say Yaleh Vei'Avo. This can happen to everybody. You got to be careful. So that's the thing, that Chazan has to remind everybody to say Yaleh Vei'Avo. And the Rabbi, somebody, 2, 3 people got to do this, so people don't forget. Otherwise, people forget all the time, because they're not used to it. You understand? So what about Birkat Hamazon? If you forgot Yaleh Vei'Avo, what's the rule?
Yeah.
Right, so it really depends, right? If it's Yom Tov, how many Seudot do we do on Yom Tov?
4.
2 Seudot, right? 2, yeah. On Shabbat we do 3, right? Yom Tov we do only 2. So those Seudot, it's important to say Yaleh Vei'Avo. If you don't say, you have to do it again, because it's from the Torah. These Seudot, But on Chol HaMoed, there is a mitzvah to do Seudot also on Chol HaMoed. There's a mitzvah. It's not obligation. Like people do barbecue, ala esh, right? Everybody likes to do ala esh, right? Bring some gechalim, right? And do ala esh on Chol HaMoed. It's nice. It's a good mitzvah. But the thing is, since it's not an obligation, so therefore on Chol HaMoed, if he forgot to say Yaleh Vei'Avo and Birkat Hamazon, he doesn't have to go back and pray again, right? But on Yom Tov, he has to go back and pray again. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akasha omer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעזור את ישראל, לפיך הכי בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפש, למען צדקו יגדיר תורה וידיר.